Hello YouTube. Welcome back. This is Balor Mage again, and we are all preparing for the new league that's coming. But my version of preparing is loot filters. And I would like to introduce everybody to our new way of doing loot filters. So we do have quite a few thousand people who already subscribe to my loot filters, but I am going to quickly address what's changed at the front, just for anyone who's already familiar. And then we're going to go through them all and why you should use them if you're in softcore trade, and how you can implement them and how you can implement little parts of them into your own filter if you want, and all the things that we've done to change them. So I'm relatively excited about this. For the people who have been subscribed to my loot filter already and are just here to know what the changes are, there will be not many changes except the name that you need to worry about if you're already happy with how they look, how they sound, everything that I've already done. The big change for you is if you really like my filters, but you wish they had different sounds, your own custom sounds, your own custom colors, you wish you could control parts of that, you're now able to do that. We've split everything into modules. So for those who haven't, let's have a look at my filters, what I've done with them, and why I think you should use them. So let's jump in. Yes, we do. All right. So there'll be a link to these in the description, but we've essentially made 3 different loot filters. Now, what I do want to say is, if you have better ideas for what the names of these 3 loot filters should be, absolutely, please give me some ideas, because I don't know what to name these, and just calling them early general strict didn't really suit. But there are 3 levels to this. The first level, which I've temporarily named Balor League Start to Red Maps, this should be used from the moment you start a brand new character up until the time where you put in your first red map. Then we've got a second one from the time you put in your first red map up until at least when you've got 2 void stones. You could stay on this longer if you wanted to, if you still felt like you needed definitely quite a bit more gear, and that the chances of like IDing good gear off the floor that's better than the trash you're currently wearing is pretty high. You could stay on it a little longer, but I generally would change it at 2 void stones. And then the forever filter. So the important parts about these filters is that they will always be relevant in softcore trade, and they will always be curated to the current softcore trade market. So if you start the league 3 weeks late, or you come over from hardcore, decide to restart in softcore or something like that, or for whatever reason you're out of sync, your red maps to 2 void stones or your league start filters might look different than they would have if you started on day 1. Because these are always going to be properly curated and properly updated for whatever the softcore trade league market currently is. The job of these filters is for you to make the most amount of money for the least amount of time and effort. I've done all of the work. I've done all of the sorting. I've done all of the tiering. I've manually looked through all of the rare items, figured out what the best bases are, all of the uniques, figured out what's worth picking up, what's not worth picking up, all of the divination cards, hidden everything appropriately. These will always be constantly changing. If you follow them, you will never ever have to update filters again. You will automatically get pushed updates. I will keep these updated until it becomes either not a game anymore or I die. This is just part of my job. However, if you're wondering why we should use these instead of just using NeverSync spaces, first, I want to shout out NeverSync. Without Filterblade, I could never have done any of this. NeverSync's default filters are absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with them. I'm very picky. Very, very picky. I'm very picky about my filters because I struggle to read. It's slow for me, and I need everything to be quite a bit stricter because I can't make on-the-fly decisions about whether something is worth picking up or not worth picking up. I can make in-depth decisions very easily when I have time to think about them. I need to make those decisions outside of a map so that when I see stuff, I know it's worth picking up, so I can just click on the shinies. So that's how you would subscribe to them. However, there's a whole different portion now. So Filterblade, a few leagues ago, possibly more than a year ago, I don't actually remember when, put in this option to make modules, individual modules. So in this, I've separated out all of the things that I would normally do into a bunch of different modules. So my unique tiering presets is its own module. My rare item tiering is its own module. My divination card presets is its own module. My own leveling rules are my own module. A color scheme that I like is its own module. So that's all very, very cool because one, it has allowed me to have several different strictnesses that I can update at the same time because all of these filters just load in the modules and then have things turned on or off. So when I change one module of if I change where a divination card is in a set in my divination card module, it will update what section that divination card is in every single one of my filters. So that's made things a lot more streamlined for me. Although it's a lot more work up front, it's now a lot less work moving forward. It's come with one very big added benefit. If you like my filters, you can now use my modules in your own filter and have your own colors, your own presets of sounds, your own... Everything can be set how you like it, and you can just import the bits of my filter that you like if you want to. So if we go and have a look at some things, I can put Balor's leveling rules and just hit apply on this filter, which is just a default never sync filter. I did nothing to this. I just set it to strict, picked a random color. This is not how my filters normally look. Just hit strict with a random color, and then I just put in my own leveling rules. That is the only change we've made to this filter as we're looking here. You can see down here, we've got 91 changes. This is my leveling set of rules. So if you don't want to use my filters, but you really like my leveling rules, you can just import them right there like that. This has all 3 links up to level 23, zone level 23. All 3 links show with a special highlight, except I went one step further. 3 link blue heavy items. So if it's at least got 2 blues and it's a 3 link, it'll show up blue. If it's rare and using those same things, it'll show up blue with a much stronger background, very obviously. And then when they become squares, when they're 4 links, up to at least zone level 50, where you'll definitely have 4 links by then. And then the same rules apply to red strong items. And then the same rules apply to green strong items. Ah, but Balor, what if they're not those specific ones? Well, I made ones that have any combination that isn't covered by the others. So like we're talking like hybrid combinations where your 4 link isn't really red heavy. It's like red, red, green, blue, or red, red, green, green, or red, red, blue, blue, or like any of those combinations that aren't heavy show up in this gray look because they still exist and I still want to see those 4 links. So that's just the leveling rules. Now, I'm able to just add them from there. What you'll have to do if you have your own filter and you want to add in a module, all you have to do is go to presets here and then go to public presets and we type Balor Mage, search, and then it shows you all of the different modules that I've got. Every different module that I've set that's been made by me. And you can import whatever part of that, whatever part of my filter you like into your own filter if you want to. Now, for those who have followed my filters in the past, you'll never have to do any of this. If you're happy with my colors, if you're happy with how my filters look, you can just keep following them. The names have changed of the 3 strictnesses of filters, but they're still the same filters. You don't have to resubscribe to them again. I was able to just change the names. So you'll have to do nothing different if you are already happy. But if you liked the ideas and you liked the strictnesses, but you couldn't handle my colors or you wanted custom sounds or anything like that, you can now do that. Now, this comes with one caveat. If I push an update, I will push the update through the module, so it will also apply to your filter. If I decide to change the tiering of something in my module, you will still get that update automatically in Filterblade. If you're subscribed to my filters, I will push them into Filterblade to in-game. So you don't have to do any of that. However, if you're making your own filter and you're using some of my modules, you will have to come to Filterblade, load your filter, and save it. When you load your filter, it will automatically check the modules to see if there's an upgrade. It will use the update from the module and apply that automatically, and you'll just have to hit save and sync again. So you still will have to go update your own filter if you've made your own and used my modules. That's an important detail, especially because early league, these filters quite often change every day, sometimes more than once a day. We try our very best to quickly respond to how the market is changing and make sure that if suddenly a unique that in the past has been trash, suddenly a video pops up and it's like, oh my God, look at this build. It uses this piece of trash unique that no one ever cares about. We make sure that that goes up immediately, so that it just gets shown. If you're using your own filters and not subscribed to mine, you will want to be checking those regularly, but it will allow you to have your own colors and your own sounds. It's all very, very cool. These will change. These modules will probably change quite a few times between now and league start as I fine tune them all and figure out how I want everything broken down. What I can do, the other thing that I will mention before we go from the filters is if people would like a guide on how to make your own modules that you can apply, we could probably do that. I don't know if that's covered anywhere. I wasn't able to find it when I went looking, and it took me a little while to understand it perfectly, but the module system here is absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Can't believe it took me this long to start using it. But yeah, there we go. My filters do not look like that. That was just for a demonstration. Let's have a quick look at some of the other things that I've changed, just so that we can see. Does this load quickly? Does it load quickly? That is the one downside I have found, is it seems like my filters load a lot slower now that I use a whole bunch of modules. Still doesn't take too long though. So just to quickly show how my filters look. This is how all my currency looks. You can see in here how all of my uniques look. So if you don't like the look of these filters, absolutely go ahead and change them. Use your own, import my modules. I'm a very big fan of this like blue color for a lot of things. I've got green for cards, the normal unique colors, and we've tiered our maps. So yeah, there's all my filters. Please use them. Please give me any feedback you've got, and please give me any ideas for what we should name them. I can't believe how much time I spent working on these. But there we go. All right. I will see everybody next time. Goodbye.